All right, guys, we're moving on to the last email question of the day. This email question comes from Sean, who lives in Seattle. Sean says, in light of recent events regarding the passing of Chadwick Boseman, what do you think Marvel or Disney is going to do with Black Panther 2? For me, I really hope they don't recast. I feel like doing so would be disrespectful to Chadwick and the legacy he created. Yeah, so again, this was our main topic of the show yesterday. We kind of memorialized Chadwick Boseman and Black Panther and like his legacy as an actor a little bit, or a lot of it. This brings up a really interesting question because Chadwick Boseman is the king. He is King T'Challa. He is the Black Panther. Now, I understand in the comics there are other Black Panthers. His younger sister, Shuri, in the comics goes on to become Black Panther herself. But there's a huge online kind of pushback. Not pushback, but rather people just saying, like, please, please, please don't recast Chadwick Boseman as... don't recast Black Panther with a different character. Different actor. I'm sorry. My brain's all over the place. You understand what I'm saying. Don't recast Black Panther with a different actor. Doing so would be disrespectful to Chadwick Boseman. It would be disrespectful to his legacy. It would be disrespectful to the character of Black Panther himself, given the emotionality and weight that Chadwick Boseman was able to bring to the character himself. I have a few thoughts about this. First and foremost, I feel that recasting or not recasting is, first of all, it all depends on what Marvel plans to do. Like, what are Marvel's plans? If you guys can hear a police siren, I believe, David, is that coming on your end?
Is, yeah.
I live in New York City, so police sirens are a dime a dozen. So it's very interesting for me to hear a police siren from someone else, especially in Honolulu.
Yeah. Well, we got the lockdown going on. Someone's probably walking on the beach, so they have to be arrested.
Get back to your house, people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all depends on the story and the direction of the MCU that Kevin Feige has planned out. Now, I understand Kevin Feige is not writing the story for Black Panther 2. That is up to Ryan Coogler and his team of writers to figure out the specific story. But a lot of it also has to do with what are the plans for the MCU, because I know there was a lot of discussion after, spoiler alert, Tony Stark died at the end of Avengers Endgame. And Captain America decided to go back in time and spend out the rest of his life with the love of his life. So we no longer have Iron Man. We no longer have Captain America. And also Black Widow was killed, obtaining the Soul Stone. So we have three major characters. We have three of the original Avengers not continuing on with the MCU. And there was a lot of talk whether Doctor Strange was going to become kind of like the new leader of the Avengers, whether it was going to be Black Panther, whether it was going to be Spider-Man. They kind of set up some of these themes in Spider-Man Far From Home of like, hey, Tony Stark is gone, Iron Man is gone. Who's going to step up? Who's going to fill his shoes, so to speak? So there's a huge discussion going on right now. Who is going to fill that spot? Originally, was it going to be Black Panther? And if not, okay. But what is going to happen to the mantle of Black Panther? How does this story play out? David, I'm sure this is something that you have thought about at least once or twice since this weekend. What's going to happen to the character of Black Panther? What's going to happen? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, yeah, I definitely, like what you were just saying with like this sort of next generation of Avengers. I always thought that it was going to be Black Panther kind of being the top guy on there because he was just the most interesting of all this next generation
by
that
far,
I thought of
by far
in the movies. Yeah,
and he's a king.
But yeah, he's a king, so it's weird for him to be taking orders for someone else. But
so do you think they're going to recast? Do you think it's a better idea to recast someone? Because here's another strong argument to be made. in the MCU, they've already cast James Rhodey.
Right. Yeah.
They've already recast Mark Ruffalo into the Incredible Hulk. They have a history of people being recast to play other roles.
Right.
So, it's not outside the realm of impossibility that they
Right.
are. I mean, if they got, let's just say, hear me out. Let's just say they get Idris Elba. I get it. Idris Elba was already a part of the MCU, but his character died. Okay, I get it. Blah, blah, blah. But he's also an acclaimed actor. He's fantastic, and he has a massive fan base. He's a little old to play T'Challa, but let's just, hypothetical.
Right.
If Idris Elba was cast to play Black Panther, do you think there would be much backlash to that, being that how many people love Idris Elba? Or do you think people are going to say, nope, I don't care if it's Idris Elba, it needs to say Chadwick Boseman? What do you think?
Yeah. I think everyone will feel weird about it, but because it's Idris Elba and he's so great in everything he does, he'd probably do a good job, so that we'd go see it and be like, oh, hey, he did pretty good. And then 3 Black Panther movies from now, we'll just think of him as Black Panther.
That's kind of how I
just
feel.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. The other thing that I think that they could do, and this is something that everybody online is talking about right now, being that in the comics, Shuri, T'Challa's younger sister, takes on the mantle of Black Panther. I think it's possible. I think it's very, very, very possible to pass the mantle of Black Panther from T'Challa to Shuri. Right. But in order to do that, I feel like if you have an off-screen death of T'Challa, it is the audience, in terms of the MCU, in terms of storytelling, is going to feel cheated. We are going to feel so cheated that such a huge character, when you come back for the next movie, just say, oh, well, T'Challa died. Regardless of how much pomp and circumstance you build up in the film, you're still going to be left with this feeling of remorse and in being cheated. Because, we've been following this character for 4 movies now. 4. And he has come through every single situation on top. He didn't, get a scratch on him through 4 movies. And now all of a sudden, off screen, he dies. The character. I think we as the audience are going to feel cheated a little bit. So if you recast Mahershala Ali from Blade into Black Panther, if you get an Idris Elba, I can't think of all the actors off the top of my head, but if you get a super high acclaimed actor to come in to take up the mantle of Black Panther, and at the same time pass the mantle of Black Panther from the T'Challa character to the Shuri character, I think that could, and in that way, we still have T'Challa in this universe. We still have another actor portraying the character that is just going to say, you know what, after the events of Endgame, I'm done. I don't want to be Black Panther anymore. Hi, I'm Idris Elba, and I'm passing the mantle to you, Shuri. I think that would be the way to do it. Cast a big name, John David Washington, or David John Washington? John David Washington? Is that
I don't
him? Get him to play T'Challa, but don't take over the mantle of Black Panther. Have him be, the king, and then he passes the mantle to Shuri, and then we follow Shuri's adventures. I think that would be the way to do it. Do you have a differing opinion?
I think the thing that no one's talking about is sort of the combination of all of the options. And because, Disney has already shown that they can, in Rogue One with Grand Moff Tarkin and Princess Leia, they can just make CGI characters of real people. So they can just make a CGI.
They look terrible, though.
Chadwick Boseman. Yeah. But, it's been another 5 years. They look better. And, all of his fight scenes and stuff, it's all CGI and a guy in a suit anyways.
That's fair.
So you can have him show up in the movie and do stuff and then, either die in a battle or something or pass on the mantle, right? But as someone playing Chadwick Boseman playing Black Panther, passing on the mantle, and then it'll look a little weird, but continuity wise, it'll cover all the bases for them. And I feel like that's something that they wouldn't be above doing.
Anyway, guys, there's so much regarding the situation, and this is not an end to this discussion. This discussion is going to continue to happen over the next few years. Quite frankly, we're going to have this discussion a lot over the next 12 months and probably even more leading up to the release of Black Panther 2. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with David? Do you think that there's parts of either one of our arguments that are valid, or do you just have a completely different theory yourself as to what they're going to do with the character of Black Panther moving forward in the MCU? Jump down into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, with all of